My name is Harlan Kilstein, and welcome to Countdown to Keto. Every day, you're going to find a new page unlocked, so you just log in and you will get the daily lesson from Kim and from me. Each of us are going to be teaching. Some days we're going to be teaching about the same topic. Some days we're going to be talking about different topics. But as you go through our program, you're going to find you're doing more and more things at an appropriate pace so that when you count down to keto, you will do it with the least aggravation, the least problems, the least likelihood of you dropping out. And on the other hand, you will know and understand what you are doing, and you will start to see the beginning of incredible results. My name is Dr. Harlan Kilstein. I have my doctorate in education. I did postgraduate work at Harvard University's School of Graduate Education. I'm also a rabbi, and after about 3 years of running one of the largest weight loss clinics in South Florida, I decided to go into business and have become a fairly well-known marketing consultant helping people grow their businesses. So how did I get to be the head of one of the largest keto groups on Facebook? Well, it's an interesting story. I sat in my GI doctor's office and he looked at me and said, "Harlan, you have syndrome X." And I looked at him like, syndrome X? Is that like cancer or something like that? What the heck is syndrome X? And he said, "Look, Harlan, you're a smart guy. Go home and Google syndrome X." I said, "Okay, I'll Google it." And I said, "What do I do about my weight?" He said, "Well, when you research syndrome X, you're going to find that it's impossible for you to lose weight." Now, that's the kind of thing that you just love hearing from your doctor. You can't lose weight. Okay, I went home and I found out that I had syndrome X, also known as metabolic syndrome. Translation: the standard American diet had thrown my hormones completely out of balance, making it literally impossible for me to lose weight. I did the research, and 40% of Americans over age 40 have syndrome X or metabolic syndrome as well. There are lots of books that talk about it, but none of the solutions work. One book after another basically wants you to load up on supplement after supplement. You want to know something? I tried it. One day I was taking as many as 20 supplements in a day. I would love to say that I saw results, but I didn't. Finally, I heard about a doctor in my area who treated metabolic syndrome or syndrome X, and I went to see him. The first thing that he did was he did the most comprehensive blood work I've ever experienced in my life. I thought they weren't going to leave any blood left in me. And as he went over the results, he said, "Harlan, you absolutely have syndrome X. Your hormones are completely out of whack. And once we start to balance your hormones, you're going to begin to lose weight. In fact, it's just going to drop off." So he started balancing my hormones, but I still didn't experience that big drop off that he promised. And then I discovered keto and I got involved. And let me tell you, right from the start, I started seeing results. I realized that there was a really big difference between low carb, which I had been doing, and keto, which was a purer, more refined version of low carb. And right from the start, I started seeing results. Pounds came off, inches came off. More importantly to me, I started feeling much better. My energy, my strength came. I had much more stamina, and I just kept seeing results. Of course, there was a problem. I had to start investing in a lot more belts more often. I never had to buy belts every couple of months, but if I didn't, it would have been obscene to walk out in those pants. So I put both feet into keto. And while I was doing keto and researching, I found that an old friend of mine, Kim Howerton, was a keto coach. So I hired her. And I spoke to Kim about once a week on Skype. And we did our thing. And then as I was seeing so much success, I said, I wonder if I could help even more people who must be going through what I've been going through. And so I started completely keto and asked Kim if she wanted to join me. And I'm happy to say she said yes. So the bottom line here is that you can do keto a sane and intelligent way by following what we teach you on a daily basis. Every day there are going to be new lessons, new recommendations, so that over the period of time of the next 28 days, you will be in keto, know what you're doing, why you're doing it, but more importantly, begin to see results. So with your permission, let me go in and give you some things that I'd like you to do, okay? So the first thing that I want your buy-in on is to stay off the scale. Scales are incredibly inaccurate. If you get on the scale, you can find one reading of your weight on the scale, and 5 minutes later, it can be entirely different. Or you can get on the scale and then all of a sudden go to the bathroom, come out gasping for life after everything that's come out of you. You go on the scale and it reads the same thing. Give me a break. You know by now that the scale is not your friend. So many people look at the scale, get angry at the scale, and then they give up because they say it's not working. I'm telling you right now that keto and checking the scale is not going to be working. Now, I don't care where you did weight loss in the past. I don't care if you were told you were supposed to weigh in every day. I'm telling you, weigh yourself tomorrow morning. Write down the weight, and then on day 30, you can go ahead and weigh yourself again. But in the meantime, nothing, not even once a week. Don't do it. You will regret it. Scales do not tell the difference between water weight, between the time of the month for you. Scales are inaccurate. What's more accurate are what we call NSVs. Non-scale victories. Are your clothes feeling looser on you? Does it take more holes to close your belt? Can you fit into clothes that you didn't fit into before? Those are the things that you should pay attention to because they are real. Now, you know about adding muscle and the weight of fat versus muscle, blah, blah, blah. You've heard it all before. The accurate way to tell that you are losing, the only accurate way, is something called a DEXA scan. You probably shouldn't do that until you're at least 6 months in keto because they're kind of expensive. If you find a place that does a DEXA scan for less money, by all means get it done. but then get it done several months down the road. Right now, you should take your measurements. Get a tape measure, take your measurements, measure accurately. Make sure to remember where you are measuring. Measure your upper arms, measure your chest, measure your hips, measure your belly at your navel, and measure again at your hips. Measure your waist, measure your thighs, and write these down. I encourage you to measure yourself with the tape measure on day 14. Okay? You will see a difference if you follow what we teach. Now, it's more important for you to pay attention to the NSV, the non-scale victory, than to get all hooked up and connected to what happens on the scale. Now, I want to tell you something that's really important to you. You're going to hear a term that both Kim and I use, and that is that weight loss is not linear. One of the biggest mistakes that people make when they start to lose weight is that they say, okay, well, I lost 8 pounds the first week, so that means in 5 weeks I'm going to lose 40 pounds. And then when that doesn't happen, they get all bent out of shape. This isn't working, is what they say. So first rule is stay off the scale. Second of all, recognize that the number of times that you have dieted in the past affect your ability to lose weight. They slow it down. Your metabolism is absolutely positive you're doing something for a short period of time, and if it resists long enough, you're going to give up. So we need to fight that. The second thing is, if in fact you do have metabolic syndrome, then don't base yourself on what you see other people are doing. Somebody lost 80 pounds in a month. Well, good for them. Let's focus on you. Now, you can lose all of the weight that you want to lose just by following keto. Now, I'm going to recommend that you add exercise at some point along the way. But you can lose a significant amount of weight just by doing keto. Now, in the days to come, we're going to teach you everything you need to know about going keto. You will notice the changes in your body. You will notice the changes in your diet. You will notice everything that is going to take keto from being a diet to a way of life. So let me ask some of those questions. If I do keto, and will the weight come back if I go off it? Most likely it will. So if you treat keto as a diet, you will fulfill the things that people say, which is if you go off it, the weight's going to come back. Because the problem is carbs and your metabolic syndrome. As soon as you start triggering that insulin response again, you should expect the weight to come back. But if you learn to live the keto lifestyle, you will take that weight off and you will keep it off. And I know people who have been doing keto for more than 20 years, and they look like they are in the prime of health. They don't get sick. They build muscle, lose fat. They are lean, mean fighting machines. And it can happen to you too. Kim and I are here to help you. Okay? If you have questions for us, please post it in one of the groups and we will try to answer you. But the number one thing we want you to know is that you can do this. You can do keto, you can lose all the weight you want, and you can keep it off. Don't make yourself crazy. We're going to ease you into it so that the results stick this time. This is Harlan saying, welcome aboard. This is going to be great.